A few days ago, I made a post on Facebook and someone private chatted me and said, Marcus, I've been following you. I've been reading your posts, but I've come to understand that, the passion with which you preach development, you preach investments back home, for our people, talking about philanthropy, talking about the need for everybody to look inward, to replicate themselves in their prostrate father's land that is contagious. But sometimes I wonder, is it that you are not conscious or aware of the fact that there are witches and wizards everywhere? Or you just, position your mind to ignore the fact that there are? I was actually surprised. But you know what? My response to him, was simple. I told him, yes, there are more witches and wizards in India than in Nigeria. There are more witches and wizards in China. In fact, in the whole of Asia than in Africa. But what you make out of it is what really counts. You see, it's all about mindset shift, mindset change. And I told him, if everybody, for fear of witches and wizards, decides to go and build their tents in a foreign land, decides to abandon their own, then what happens? Meaning their history will be erased. That's what it means. Meaning they will never be remembered by posterity. There will be nothing like posterity. There will be nothing to write home about them. That is the truth. So there is no place that doesn't have witches and wizards. But what we really need to do, like the Bible says, that we have to be transformed. We are transformed by the renewal of our minds. I think the problem is in the minds. The difference between Nigerians and other part of Western, that's the Western world, or like Asia and other part of and the Western world today, is in the minds, the power of the mind. That is the truth. What do you believe? It is not to say they don't exist, but you can actually build yourself, and philosophies, in such a manner that you still achieve greatness and progress, even in their midst. Now, if you look at the reason why witches and wizards, yes, there are witches abroad, but you know what? They are more given to positive ventures or adventures, than negativism. But we talk of witches and wizards in the context of Africa, what comes to mind is somebody flying in the night going to press another person, or somebody going to a shrine, or somebody going somewhere to stab somebody in a mirror, or somebody going somewhere to plant something, a charm, in order for his neighbor not to progress, and all that kind of stuff. So it's more sin, it's 100% from sin, or viewed from the realm of negativism. That's what it's all about. In Nigeria, someone will tell you that it's only in Nigeria. You see somebody will say, my destiny is to make sure so person does not succeed in life. You see envy, you see strife, you see greed everywhere, and all that kind of stuff. But now let me tell you the hard truth. Now, one of the reasons strife, envy, even witchcraft in the negative, realm appears to be very high in Africa, in Nigeria and other parts of Africa, is tied to what I discovered a few months back, that I tagged generalized individualism. Now, that is the problem. Now, the selfishness and self-centeredness of Africa. Now, you don't care about your neighbors. Because if you look at the center point of witchcraft, you see poverty. Poverty is a major feature there. You see poverty, you see hopelessness, it's something associated with filthy lucres. That is it. Have you ever seen any rich man that is so rich who is a witch? That you say, oh, this way, okay, for instance, let's take Dangote now. Now, would you say, if somebody comes to tell Dangote is a witch, will you believe the person? And what havoc is Dangote going to commit or perform in your life if he's a witch? Because Dangote has transformed his mindset, his thought, his philosophy. Assuming someone like Dangote is even a witch, by now you should have been talking of, how do you call it, spiritual economy. He would have built so much of spiritual economy in the coven, in the realm of witchcraft. That is the truth. By now you'll be talking of spiritual sugar. You'll be talking of spiritual salt. You know, you'll be talking about spiritual macaroni, spiritual indomie, spiritual cement, and all that. And witches and wizards will be buying all these things in the spiritual realm, you know, to to record developments. And that is it. He would have employed a whole lot of persons in the spirit realm. Positive thinking, transformation of the mind. Now, the reason witches and wizards are everywhere in the negative sense in Africa and in Nigeria is because we are too selfish and greedy. How can one man in a whole street, the road to your house is so deplorable, so bad? You have a duplex, the biggest mansion. In fact, the only mansion in the street is your house. Then at night, the only light that beams from that street is your compound. And you don't even care. You drive your luxury cars through the bad roads to your house every day. There are poor people all around you. The only thing they feed from is the aroma, the beautiful scent of food, aroma of food, being prepared in your kitchen that fumes out from your kitchen. That is what the only benefits they get from the neighborhood. When you are cooking, when they are cooking in your kitchen, they'll start, you see the poor people and say, this aroma can only come from one place, and that's the house of chief. And you're so comfortable with that. Generalized individualism. When you have become successful, when you have achieved progress, do you transcribe or transform that progress to better the lives of others, directly or indirectly? That's what the concept is all about. You drive your cars through that road. Even the poor people with rickety cars in the street, you still want their cars to get bad or worse going through the same road. And you don't care because you don't want to spend your money to fix a road for other people to pass through. Wickedness, that's what has held Africans back, and Africa's a continent. And even Nigeria, worse. People just concern themselves with just themselves alone and their family, immediate family. Everybody is so concerned about self. In the history of, if you go into history from the biblical days and all that kind of stuff, you will find out that no nation truly achieves greatness depending on government alone. That's just true. Everybody has a role to play, directly or indirectly. You must fix somebody from within your vicinity. And we're not talking about your just immediate family alone. Today, you are the only rich person. Why won't there be strife? If life is better the more we make lives better for Nigerians, for more people in your family and all that, the less of strife you are going to get. The less of the thought of, oh my God, envy. Oh, why is it that it's only his children that attend good schools? Why is it that it's only his children that drive cars and all that? If life becomes better for everybody, at least, I'm not talking of, maybe luxury lifestyle, at least to the average. Everybody can live fine. Their children can attend good schools. They have good means of livelihood and all that. They will think less of strife. They will think less of envy. They will think less of negativism. Even if their wishes are wizards, because of what they benefit from it, they gain from it, they won't even want to plot evil against you or talk less of saying they want to kill you. That is just the truth. Because there's an extent to which will be good to a man that is evil, or her evil will boomerang upon her head. And sometimes it's not just about praying, fasting and praying. There are certain things in practicals you must do for your prayers and fastings to work from the point of view of God. So that is just how it is. We have to change the way we think. We have to change our philosophies of life. Because when you ignore the child of that poor man, you don't care. He does not have food to eat today in your neighborhood. He does not go to school. Those children, do you really care as a rich man about the children who can't even afford school, who don't go to school? Every day you drive through the street, you see children, playing in the street when they should be in school. Does it itch you? Do you really feel touched? You ignore them today, but those children somehow, somewhat, may become the dangers and the nightmare that you and your children you feel have succeeded may have to now face tomorrow. That's the case of Nigeria and what we are facing today now. That is just the truth. Do you show concern? Because an injustice overlooked somewhere might just be a threat to justice everywhere. The judges appears to be blind to injustice in the street or on the street until it is brought to their law court. Then they will not sit down and administer justice. So that is how it is. So think about this. It's very important. Today we talk of Iroko trees. You say, oh, a great Iroko tree in a family has fallen. It is dangerous in a family for you to find just one Iroko tree. The tendencies are that your lifespan will be cut short. And God will allow it because you are wicked. What makes the beauty of a forest is when there are many Iroko trees, not just one. Somebody dies in a family, people are crying, oh, how will my child school fees be paid now? How this? One family I envy so much. Well, today we celebrate the Dangotes and all that. But I've done research about the Dangotes family. You know, in the Dangote's lineage, you cannot find a single poor person. Go and do your research and find out. Why? Because they have a principle. And that principle is one for all for one. That when you succeed, you must transform or transcribe that success in the lives of the next person. So, and that's why everybody's, in the Dangote's family, you have, all you see everywhere is iroko trees. So, it's difficult for one to even fall because the strength of the tree in a forest is determined by the strength of the surrounding trees. That's why they say only one tree does not make a forest. So, are you the only tree in your family? Then you are treading on a dangerous path. Do you take delight and find delight in just enjoying life, you and your children alone? You travel around the world, you don't care about what is happening in the environment, and they are going to fight back, directly or indirectly. So that is just the truth. I'm not a prophet of doom, but we have to change the way we do things. I envy Dangote's family so much. They have a policy in their family that everybody don't join the same political party, one political party. They spread their tentacles. Dangote being the richest man as he is now, Dangote, he sponsors, he invests money in different political parties. So that if anyone wins at the end of the day, he retains their relevance. That is it. There are people who have been abroad for years now. They've not been able to even help one single person from their family abroad. Each time you talk about, oh, uncle, I want to try, they say abroad not be as it be again, no. But you know they come back home. You are still there. You have a younger one who is very good, he's into welding and fabrication, and you know that boy has capacity to earn good money abroad and to also further develop himself. What does it take for you to help him abroad? You don't want to help him because you have this spirit of omewa vole. Omewa vole. That greed. You don't want anybody to overtake you. Oh my God, so in the family, if he becomes wealthy, I will not have a voice anymore. People will not be loyal to me anymore. Wicked mindset. I spoke to a politician some years back in my community. Let us help the youth of the community. And what he told me was mind-shocking, blowing. He said, Marcus, if we help the youth, who will be loyal? So loyalty is food. You eat it and it satisfies you. Now the youth now they will be pitiful. Another election don't come. Everywhere they clap. Oh, leader will ruin you. It will ruin you. How long have you been shouting leader? Now you are dangerously 40, approaching 40 or 50. You are still chanting the song of leader. That leader you are crying, you are following, you are hinging all your life on. How old was the leader when the leader joined politics? Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, Ovioma Agege, and so many other politicians we celebrate today. They started their political career at a very tender age, holding sensitive offices and positions. But today you are 50 years. For 28 years you have been a follower. When will you be a leader? Very funny. The level of greed in Africa is just too much. And that's our problem in Africa. Until we generalize our individualism. Today is such a funny cacophony that when somebody just achieves success, the next thing every other person is just like a poor riffraff from the slum. That you start belittling and underrating everybody. They start talking of things that they are not hardworking enough, and you have, as though it's your hard work that took you to where you are. So the cross of this message, the lesson objective here is that we must show love to our neighbors. Until we show love to our neighbors, until we take, we show some care. We prioritize not just only our children alone, but the children in the neighborhood. Until we generalize our individualism, spread our success to rub off on people, on the society, we cannot have a good society. And God will not be happy with us. Everybody is running out of Nigeria. Everybody is running away. Urubu say, and my people say, are you not wicked? We are talking of witches and wizards. There will be less of witches and wizards activities. You render them more powerless when you show benevolence, when you show love to society, when you show love to that woman in the village, when you show love to that man in the village, to that child who cannot pay school fees, to that widow, that child who has not been able to feed himself, who is suffering in the street. When you start showing love to that child who cannot buy school books, to that child who cannot pay school fees, then you are mitigating and reducing the effect of witchcraft and wizards in our community. That is the gospel. That is the message in this broadcast. Today, Germany has over 400 universities. It is not government that funds them. And these universities, they are tuition free. Public universities, they are tuition free. How do they get the kind of funding? They even give scholarships to students. Because there are people in Germany and even outside Germany, white people, who have generalized their individualism by way of granting funds to research funds to universities to come up with solutions. Look at our universities in Nigeria. Strike has been on for how long now? Nobody's even showing any care. Only one man has funds and resources to stop ASU strike. Tinubu, for instance, Tinubu has the capacity. If Tinubu decides to say, ASU, how much are you looking for? ASU, take, go and resume. I want the children back in school. Won't Nigerians vote for him? Eh? You think it's a Miloko that we're talking about? It's very annoying. Only one man. You have rich individuals, stronger individuals and weaker institutions in Africa and in Nigeria. That's our problem. But over there abroad, you have stronger institutions and weaker individuals. That's what balances a country. That's what balances economy and any nation. That is it. We are not even talking about ASU strike. How much is ASU looking for? Because we have this selfish inclination, this self-centeredness. Nobody wants to do anything about it. But the challenges and the odds, we get to a point that we swallow everybody if nothing is done about it. Because an injustice overlooked somewhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I believe you've learned something from this broadcast today. Please kindly subscribe to my channel, share it till it goes viral, and encourage your friends to subscribe. I'm still your friend, Marcus Ekure. I love you so much. Keep flying. Nothing can stop you. Bye for now.